Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for another YouTube practice. Today we are here with a full body Power Vinyasa Flow, and we're going to be connecting with one of the Niyamas today in this practice, Tapas, which is all about our inner fire and our kind of self-discipline. So looking at this today, we will be stretching and strengthening the full body in this practice. So by the end, leaving us feeling nicely kind of stretched, strengthened and recharged, and getting that kind of energy moving. And thinking about this energy of a tapas. So that's what we're going to be connecting with. So coming into a standing position to get started today, I want you to just let your arms come down to the side of your body, and we're going to close down the eyes or take a steady gaze out in front. And start to notice how the ground feels beneath your feet. Scanning into the hands and the fingers. Start to become aware of any sensations, anything you can feel in this area. And when we look at tapas today, and this is a Sanskrit word, and translated it can mean to burn. So that's where we're using this inner fire to allow ourselves to actually create more freedom. So when we actually have self-discipline and we have boundaries, what that often does is actually create freedom for us to live the way that we want to live. To have the life that we want, we have to have an element of this discipline. So noticing your breath now, noticing the quality of your breath as you breathe in and out through the nose. Notice where that prana, that life force energy is traveling within your body today. And we can set an intention for this practice today, a sankalpa. So just setting that intention now. Could be something personal to you, or it could be relating to this Niyama Tapas. So it could be connecting to a sense of having that self-discipline, connecting to that inner fire. And that could be about really listening to your body today. So it's not necessarily about, trying to really push yourself in your physical practice. In fact, this is so much more about those deeper layers. So maybe that is all about having the discipline to really listen to your body today. And if your body is saying you need to rest more, you need to take different options in your practice, really allowing yourself to perhaps listen to that. Perhaps that's where your self-discipline lies today. So we'll open the eyes back up if you had them closed. We're going to ground into the right foot and step your left foot behind on a diagonal. And inhale, reach the hands up to the ceiling. Take the right hand to the left wrist. Lift up and out from the waist and take a stretch over to the right. Breathing all the way down into the left side body. Love this stretch. I can feel it all the way down, that left side down into the left hip, outside of the left leg. Well done, and release. We'll take it on to the other side. So ground into the left foot, step that right foot on a diagonal behind. Inhale, reach the hands up, left hand to right wrist, lifting first. As you exhale, stretch over to the left side. Send your breath down into the right side body. creating space. Keep breathing. Well done. Release, come back to center and take a little shake out. Shake off any of that energy of anything that came before this practice. Anything that's not serving you, that's not needed. Maybe take a little shake out of the legs and the feet. Don't worry about how it looks. If you've been doing these other flows with me, you're probably used to doing a little bit of moving and shaking by now. So shaking everything off, coming back to your standing position. We're going to hug this right knee in towards the chest. Keep that space across the chest nice and lifted. Start to take some circles with this right ankle. Finding a drishti perhaps here, a little gazing point. Well done. Then keeping just the right hand on the right knee or shin, open that right leg out to the side. So getting an opening into that right hip space. Draw the right knee back into center. Release and see if you can bring the heel out behind. Take the right hand to the right foot, coming into this quad stretch. Breathing here to keep the space across the chest. Well done, and release. We'll take it on to the other side. Hug the left knee in towards the chest. Start to take your circles with the left foot, going around in one direction, coming back in the other direction now, and observing your breath here. Come back to some awareness of your breathing, what perhaps you're breathing, or maybe your body wants you to know. What's it communicating to you today? So being a little bit curious. Keep the left hand on the left leg, open that left knee out to the side, get that opening into the left hip space, breathing here. And draw the left knee back into center, float that left leg through, see if you can do it without putting the leg down, come into your left side quad stretch. So really stretching into the left thigh. And again, noticing your breath. See if you're tempted to hold the breath here. That's okay if you are. Well done, and releasing. Now we're going to come to the top of the mat, so starting to come into our sun salutations now, Surya Namaskar A. Grounding into those feet. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up. Lift your heart away from your tailbone. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step or float it back to plank. Flow through your chaturanga, inhaling into an upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to breathe. Maybe take a little pedal out of the feet. Feeling into the backs of the legs, maybe the backs of the hips. Really inhabiting the body fully, sending your gaze, sending your awareness into all the different parts of the body. Seeing what's there. Inhale, send the gaze between the hands. Step or jump the feet in. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up, lift your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, hands float through to heart center. And again, inhale, sweep the fingertips up. Exhale, folding forwards, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Step or float the feet back. Inhale, come through into your upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, lifting the hips. Find your downward facing dog. Press the mat away with your hands. Inhale, gaze comes between the hands. Step or float the feet in. Lift the chest, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up, lifting the heart away from the tailbone. Exhale, hands come through to heart center. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale, sit the hips back, Utkatasana. Belly's coming away from the thighs. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to the mat, step or float back to plank. Come through your chaturanga. Inhaling into an upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Just remembering child's pose is there for you at any time. Always listening to your body. Inhale, sweep the right leg up, find a 3-leg dog, option to open into the hip space. Maybe taking a bend through that right leg, if that feels good too. Breathing here, holding that 3-leg dog. Inhale, we're going to step the right foot through between the hands, reach the right fingertips up to the ceiling, follow with the gaze, easy twist. Start to pivot onto the knife edges of the feet. Revolve Skandasana. Breathing here, feeling that stretch into the right hip space. Love this one, but can feel super strong. We're going to inhale, reach the fingertips up, really lift the hips so we're engaging into the left side body. And I want you to see if you can float your right leg back to find a side plank Vashisthasana. You can always bend the top leg, have it planted on the mat here as another option. Now from here, we're going to lift this right leg. See if you can pivot around and float that right foot to the top of your mat. Reach the fingertips up, lift up and out from the waist, high lunge. Well done. If you added in a couple of extra steps, no worries. Now we're going to float the hands down, power into this right leg, lift the left leg, find a standing split. So left foot is reaching up towards the ceiling. Maybe the forehead's coming towards the right shin or in that direction. Again, using blocks if that's in your practice, taking any modifications that you need. Now, option to either stay and work here, or you're going to lift the chest, plant the hands down on your mat. Option to take a little kick up. Take a little kick up to handstand. Coming back down, everybody taking a big step back to meet in plank position. Flow through your chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pause and reset. This time we inhale, sweep the left leg up to find 3-leg dog. Option to bend into the left leg. Stay strong through the shoulders. A nice way to stabilize your shoulders in your downward dog is to roll your triceps down. So imagine hugging the arms in towards the ears. Inhale, we're going to sweep this left foot through between the hands, reach the left fingertips up to the ceiling, easy twist, follow with the gaze. Breathing here. Pivot onto the knife edges of both feet, find your evolved Skandasana. Scanning into the body, what can you feel? Notice what's alive for you. Now we're going to lift the hips, really engage through that right side body, reach the left fingertips up. Can you take a big step back so that you're in your Vashisthasana, right side? Again, you can always bend the top leg and bring the foot to the mat. Here, keep breathing. Well done. Can you lift this left leg? And we're going to pivot, float, and take a big step to that left leg to the top of the mat. Reach the hands up, find your high lunge. Lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. From here, powering into the left leg, lift that right leg, sweep it up, find your standing split. Maybe the left arm wraps around the left leg and draws the forehead in towards the shin. So really feeling that right glute switched on. Reaching up with that right leg. And then either staying here in your standing split or stepping the hands out a little bit. Making sure that you've got space. Maybe you take a little kick up to handstand. And everybody meeting back in a plank position. Flow through your chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. And exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Take a moment here to breathe. Maybe coming back to that intention of tapas. Looking inwards. How can I create boundaries that are going to serve me, serve my growth, serve my journey through life? Inhale, send the gaze between the hands, step or float the feet in, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sit the hips back to Utkatasana. Draw the belly in, strong inner line of energy. And exhale, come back to Tadasana, mountain pose, hands to heart center. Pausing here, well done. Already feeling that little burn, that spicy tapas. Taking a moment here to take some deep breaths, really breathing into the belly. Your breath might have got a little bit quicker, might have sped up a little bit. So recentering, grounding. Now from here, we're going to step back with the left foot, left toes pointing out at a slight angle, hips are shining forwards. Inhale, reach the crown of your head up to the ceiling. As you exhale, fold forwards, and this left hand's going to come to the outside of your right foot. Maybe it comes to the mat or maybe it comes to a block. A block could be a really nice option here. Reach the right fingertips up to the ceiling. Revolve Trikonasana. Following with your gaze. Pressing the feet down and away into the mat to stabilize. Now keeping the legs as they are, unraveling from your twist. Start to walk the hands through center, and we're going to pivot the feet so that we're in this wide leg, prasarita position. You can always step the feet out a little bit more if that feels good too. So we're hanging down here in a little forward fold. Take the peace fingers around the big toes. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend into the arms. Draw the head maybe down towards your mat. If your head is coming down to meet the mat, option for a little tripod headstand. That's just an option. Remember, take what feels good for you today. Take any leg variations that you wish to take. Have a little playtime. And if you're in your headstand, start to bring the legs back down to the mat. So coming back to that prasarita position. And then staying low, we're going to walk the hands over to the left. Pivot the feet. So now we've got this left foot facing forwards, right toes out, pointing out at a slight angle. Right hand this time comes to the outside of the left foot or to a block. Left fingertips reach up, revolve Trikonasana. Sending your gaze up towards the ceiling or in that direction. Breathing into any little wobbles, any shakes. One more breath here. And then releasing. Walking the hands back through center again, but this time bring the feet slightly further than hip width. Point the toes out. Sit the hips down, lift the chest, find Malasana. Reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling. An option to close down the eyes or soften the gaze here. Imagine this line of energy, allowing the crown of the head to reach upwards. Noticing any heat that you've built in the body in this practice so far today, any fire. Using that inner fire as a sense of willpower, a sense of strength, the warrior within, your determination, your self-discipline. Self-discipline being this act of self-love. So in order to love ourselves well, we must have boundaries. We must have self-discipline. So that we can be intentional with how we go about our lives. Opening the eyes back up if you had them closed. Sit the hips down towards the mat. Now, option here to see if you can lift the legs. And then we're going to come into our half Lord of the Fish pose. So this right leg's going to go underneath. And see if you can hook this left leg over, sole of the left foot comes down to the mat. If that did not happen for you that way, do not worry. Just come into our Ardha Matsyendrasana now. Left leg's on top. Right hand comes out behind, reach the left fingertips up. Left hand comes out behind, reach the right fingertips up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Breathing here. Scanning into the back of the body. Noticing any little aches, any little areas of tension or tightness. Any niggles. And just to observe. No good or bad, no right or wrong. Now unraveling from here, we'll take a little bit of a fun twisty twizzle. So we're going to come over so that you're twisting to the right you're going to start to place your hands on the ground on the right, and then ground your feet into the mat and lift your hips. Okay? Keep going around in this circular motion to the right. Drop the hips back down, and you should, or you might find yourself, hopefully, in your Ardha Matsyendrasana on the other side. So right leg's now hooked over the left. Again, don't worry if you did not find yourself there. Again, just be curious about whether you got here or how you got here and what else you need to do to now come into this position. So right hand comes out behind, sweep the left fingertips up, lift up and out from the waist, exhale, twisting to the right. Gaze comes over the right shoulder, creating length here on your inhales and softening on the exhale. Perhaps seeing if you can notice that fire within, that energy. And starting to unravel, coming back to center. Just bring your legs into a comfortable seated position. And we're going to bring the hands to the abdomen, so this Manipura, area of our Manipura chakra, our solar plexus, which is also connected with our fire element. So bringing your hands to rest on this area. And as you inhale, see if you can maybe feel this area expanding. Maybe you can feel the breath traveling down through into this area, then maybe into the belly. And as you exhale, maybe feeling this area draw back in. Notice how this part of the body feels, whether it feels hard or soft, cold or warm, somewhere in between. We'll inhale through the nose, I am. And on the exhale, powerful. So inhale through the nose, I am. Exhale, powerful. And last one, inhale through the nose, I am. Exhale, powerful. And we'll release the hands when you're ready, just coming back into the physical body, starting to open the eyes up or take a steady gaze. Thank you so much for being here and practicing with me. Do let me know how you got on with that flow. Let me know your feedback. I always love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe to this channel. It's completely free. I release new flows every single week on here. And if you liked this, there's loads of other flows on this channel that you can take a look at. So yeah, thank you so much, and I can't wait to flow with you again, hopefully very soon.